You ready, Mark?
Yeah, good to go, guys.
Adam, 59 points to half-time, 28 in the second. What happened post-half-time?
It was always going to be a question whether the shooting was sustainable, but the big issue we had, obviously, we gave up 50 at the half, and that was the main consensus that we talked about. The offense was a little bit terminal, especially in that third quarter. We made some errors both ends of the floor. We lost a bit of composure, chirping on the floor and so forth. The good thing was we were able to regain a little bit of composure and keep it relatively close with a couple of chances to really take the lead back in the fourth, but we just couldn't make those shots.
You'd have it around the 4-5 mark for so long down the stretch. It seemed so close yet so far. Is that how it felt?
Sorry, in the fourth?
In the fourth, yeah.
Yeah. Every time it felt like we sort of got a real good stop. We just needed that one shot to drop. We did a good job trying to get to the foul line, but then there'll be possessions where we settle unnecessarily for like mid-ranges or deep threes when, we could have won the game from the foul line. So we sort of went away from that.
Ball picked up very early foul. He was in foul trouble, I guess, throughout a lot of that game. Do you speak to him about, the depth of his team, how much they need him, and then him staying on the floor? Because that's happened a few times recently.
You already talked to him about the refs officiate it one way than the other. Like, I don't know what you want me to be passive, stop being the player that you are because the officials decide that now today it's a foul. No, I don't talk to him about that.
So there's no sense of just trying to be sustainable out there, given that there's so much on the line, and I guess giving up a bucket here means you staying on the floor. That could help the team. Does that come into your mind at all?
You think he plays more passively when he's in foul trouble? No. Yeah, well then I don't see an issue.
What did you think about the sort of chirpiness throughout the game? A bunch of tense on there, and then guys started talking to each other. Is that the sort of environment that you want to play in?
Well, it's interesting. I like it because, there's a bit of that competitive spirit, but I've been teed up for a lot less. And so I'm confused in deciding where we test the boundary because if I pump the crowd up, it's a tech. If I look at a referee and say something incorrectly, it's a tech. Today it wasn't. And so, again, interesting, right? But I don't mind it. I got no issues with it. It's just how it's officiated from week to week is what toes the line is what's the word they mean? Demonstrative. I was the most demonstrative I ever was today. Didn't get a tech. Towed the line to the borderline verbal abuse. Nothing happened. Interesting. So, yeah.
Kings had 58 points in the paint, 61%. How do you work to stop them doing that? Because whether it's in transition getting heat on the rim or Tim Suarez in there and Zabe Cook's in there, how do you try to deter that and get them shooting, which isn't their strong suit?
Yeah, we didn't engage the battle early enough. We refer to pick-up points. There were even times where the guards were getting in deep. So that has to be addressed and has to be addressed quickly, right? Because we'll have a recovery day, flight day, video day wrapped up in one, and we play again Friday night.
DJ, what do you think your team can do differently when Sydney comes at you with a 17-0 run in that space of time? How can you make sure that it doesn't happen again and you guys can continue to rebound the way you did?
It's a tough question. They had a good run. We just got to be better on defense. Defense leads to good offense for us. They kept keeping us in the half court because they would score. We had to take the ball out and then bring it up slow. So if we can maybe break that 17-0 run and get 2, 3, 4 stops in there, it'd chop that down a lot.
How are you feeling out there against this very switchy defense, and you get a big guy like Tim Suarez in front of you a bunch? Are you comfortable out there offensively?
I felt all right. I think I could have made a couple more shots, but for the most part, I think I just got to keep being aggressive and keep getting my teammates involved when I can if they overhelp.
Big part of that first up was Jonah going off. What's it like for you watching a teammate like that who has got inconsistent burn throughout the season, come out and put a performance like that and put you guys in front?
It's big. I mean, you feel for him, He puts in a lot of work, but just the way it is, only 5 guys can be on the court at a time, so it's hit or miss. But, I mean, he never held his head down. He just stayed with it. And when you do that and you can hoop, your time will come.
Forde, what do you feel that does to, the options that you guys have out there, knowing that you have a guy like Jonah who can heat up the way he did?
Yeah, I mean, there was one point I'm looking at the floor and I got 3 rookies out there, and it was kind of cool. You know, we got, you know, a big time game, and just through sheer unfortunate circumstances with injuries and foul trouble and however it was, then in a moment where the game was on the line in the fourth, there was Lat, there was Ben, there was Sam, and Jonas. So at one point it was virtually like, I know Jonas played a year in the Czech, but that's a pretty young, inexperienced lineup out there. So it is cool to see when guys get those opportunities and they capitalise on it. And it just, if anything, it makes me sit back and reflect where I can get them more opportunities. Obviously, the past is the past, but moving forward.
DJ, after those 40 minutes, generally, how do you feel about the prospect of playing Sydney again in 48 hours?
We'll be ready. It's the only thing you can do, step on the court, come to play. Backs against the wall once again. We do got to play better, especially all 40 minutes, but yeah, confident still.
You were matched up on Zay Cooks for a lot of the game. You know, do you feel like he got the shots that you wanted him to take?
The thing with him is, you know, he's going to the rim. It's just whether you can make it tough for him to get there. Fortunately tonight, I didn't do a good job when I was matched up on him, but got another game Friday, so we'll do better. It's more than just a one-man job, though, with him. That's why he's the MVP.
Coach, after the first half, you know, you had that great second half, and Jonah was on fire. And how were you trying to maintain that momentum? So, what was you sort of talk to these guys at half time to try and, you know, continue on doing what you were doing? But
Yeah.
You knew they'd come again, obviously.
Yeah, and that's where, again, like, the offense wasn't great. I burned a timeout, I think about 6:40 in, just when they got on a little 5-0 run, and I didn't like what was happening again down the offensive end. You know, we'll settle in for a lot of unnecessary shots. And then they come out again and they continued on that run. So that 5-0 run built out to another, I think, 9-10-0 run from that point. It's called another timeout. And it was just a matter of executing. I mean, we had 2 shot clock violations. That's bad. Like, that's pretty disappointing when 2 of our turnovers, we just dribbled the shot clock out. So, you know, it's something we need to address and fix, because, you know, you just don't want to rely on a hot hand. It was important that we sort of wanted to execute what we wanted to do on the offensive end. We get to the foul line. Like, we had no problem getting to the foul line. We just didn't do it enough.
Anyone on the Zoom?
Oh, sorry. God speaking.
Anyone on the Zoom?
Yeah, Forde, just one from me. Apologies if it's been asked because I had a bit of connection issues. Shannon Scott didn't play the last minute. How's he feeling at the moment? Have you got anything on him?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, it's just been a lot of basketball, a lot of travel. You know, felt like we've already played a series before we've played this game 1, so just got guys feeling the effects of it. And so, you know, we got a real good high performance team that's going to manage them over the next day and a half, prepare them for Friday night.
How close was Tajir to playing tonight?
Yeah, pretty close, surprisingly close. So we'll see how it goes.
And with Scott, definitely just cramps, no hint of a hamstring.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. I'd have to go back and check. But he has cramped a little bit in the past before, so I'm assuming it's that, but I don't know.
He was sucking the cramp fuse too.
Yeah.
Anyone else? There you go.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.